Here is Zack. Today I would like to talk about Boruto. I thought I would not have 65 episodes of that exciting to oxygen deprivation in my lifetime, until the recent Isshiki Otsutsuki Arc last. The animation team finally let Baryon Mode Naruto have a wonderful battle, watching Isshiki being single-handedly hung and shivering in the face of Naruto's approaching pace. It's refreshing. This is the real Naruto. Today we will talk about the core line of this Boruto, Isshiki Otsutsuki Arc. When Kaguya appeared, I thought Madara was too strong and had to reluctantly descend on a new boss to close. Later, the theatrical version was released only to know that it was in the production of DLC for the sequel, but the theatrical version of Momoshiki and Kinshiki is not the end. Back then and Kaguya came to Earth together, there is Isshiki. According to the trend of this nesting doll, it is not surprising that God of Otsutsuki will be released again in the future. What? Is the comic already out? Then it's okay. Kaguya and Isshiki were originally partners whose mission was to plant a tree to harvest its chakra fruit and serve it to the family when the god tree came into fruition. But Kaguya attacked Isshiki, who escaped into the body of a passing monk, Jigen, when he was seriously injured and dying, and Kaguya took chakra fruit and became the master of the planet. But later, she was sealed by her own two sons, and chakra was scattered all over the world. After thousands of years of evolution, it has evolved into the era of ninjas who make nuclear bombs with their bare hands. So, when the unsuspecting Momoshiki and Kinshiki came to collect the rent, they were defeated by Naruto, Sasuke, and the cheerleaders. But Momoshiki left the mark of karma on Boruto before he died. The karma can be likened to Otsutsuki's backup file, which will be unsealed over time and eventually resurrected by occupying the host's body. Isshiki wanted to be reborn in the same way, but Jigen's body was just an ordinary human and could not carry Otsutsuki power. He can only temporarily parasitize in Jigen's body and secretly seeding 10-tailed trees in other dimensions. To facilitate the action, he established Kara. However, Kara has two major spies, Amado and Koji Kashin. When Kawaki, a vessel that Isshiki had spent years cultivating, was about to be completed, they engineered Kawaki's escape to Konohagakure. Naruto is very sympathetic to Kawaki's tragic life, and Otsutsuki is the archenemy who wants to reap the life of the earth, so he will not let Kawaki fall into their hands. The first is Kara member Delta vs Naruto, a battle that was previously the shame of the Boruto manga. From the plot to the battle design is very silly. The animation team even outsourced the production directly. So, Naruto opened Nine Tails Chakra mode to perform aerobic. Kawaki, who was watching the battle, also said whether Hokage was leading the dance. All in all, Naruto finally hit Delta and blew herself up. This battle is more to show the bond between Kawaki and Naruto, and then comes the main event, Isshiki against Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke are much weaker compared to Shippuden's heyday. Now Naruto's yin-yang powers have been taken back by the Sage of Six Paths and can't even fly anymore. Gundam has also degenerated into Nine Tails mode against the Obito period, and Sasuke is also left with ordinary Susanoo and a Menetejikara, or often chakra is not enough, or pupil power. At that time is the seal Kaguya, touch is the victory, this time to kill Isshiki to win, so the chances of winning this battle are slim. In the Jigen stage, they had the upper hand with their intelligence and cooperation, but when Isshiki appears in Otsutsuki's original posture, it's time for the villain boss's turn. Sasuke shouted, and Naruto was able to use his Rasengan. When Isshiki disdained and tried to absorb it, Sasuke switched positions with Naruto and chopped at Isshiki with his sword. Isshiki was slightly surprised, but the next moment black rods appeared out of nowhere, blocked the sword. With Naruto's Nine Tails mode gone and Sasuke running out of chakra, they're really at their wits' end. Just then, a crack appeared in Ishiki's body, and Jigen's body was unable to support Otsutsuki's strength. Isshiki knew he would be at a disadvantage if he continued, so he used Daikokuten to summon a ramen bowl to seal Naruto. So your real name is Ichiraku Otsutsuki. Sasuke used space-time ninjutsu to escape the moment Isshiki attacked him. Ishiki's body split open again, so she had to leave first, and the ramen bowl slowly closed. This scene was seen by Koji summoned Toad, and he finally got the chance to kill Isshiki. Before that, there was a battle between the main group to save Naruto and Kara member Bura. The fight was of high quality, especially Sarada's first Chidori stream, wallpaper quality artwork, plus the exclusive BGM of The Little Princess. Never get tired of watching. Kawaki and Boruto, Sarada, and their friendship developed during the battle, also very much like the feeling of Team 7 back then. There is also the last Momoshiki-possessed spirit bomb, and Jinchuriki's era has passed, and now the popular body living in an Otsutsuki. This battle will be introduced when the future Sarada character introduce. The next is the climax of Boruto's plot, where Koji Kashin and Amado make their appearance. Koji's role used to give me mixed emotions, because his appearance and ninjutsu look like Jiraiya, and his tones are full of familiarity with Konohagakure. I was looking forward to seeing Jiraiya again, but at the same time, I was afraid that he would come back to life, because Jiraiya's death is the sublimation of the entire Naruto. The performance of the most important ninja is not to master the number of ninjutsu, but never give up the perseverance of the main theme. And he passed it on to Naruto. But finally, the author's treatment let me breathe a sigh of relief. Koji is Amado to defeat Isshiki, using Jiraiya's genes to create a clone. This layout does not affect the ending of Jiraiya's death, but allows us to overlay the figure of the man on him and see his heroic stance against the boss again. Koji returns to Kara's stronghold, where Amado has been waiting for a long time, and while Koji takes on Isshiki alone, Amado heads to Konohagakure. Amado is a still hidden character, on the surface seems to be a decent character, but there is always a kind of behind-the-scenes atmosphere. The crash of the airship carrying Kawaki was arranged by Amado. He and Koji seem to be close friends, but instead of telling him the whole plan, they treat him as a pawn to be discarded. But on the point of defeating Isshiki, his and Konohagakure's interests are aligned. He tells everyone about Ishiki's past and Karma's secret, and then broadcasts the Koji's battle live. Koji's strength is equivalent to the young version of Jiraiya, and Ishiki's strength is not in the same class. But Isshiki just experienced the battle with Naruto and Sasuke. Strength recovery is less than 10%, plus Koji knows his ability, repeatedly use Shadow Clone Jutsu dodge Black Rod, but a time to tie. Although he knew his opponent could absorb ninjutsu, Koji still used the fire style a few times, not to hurt the enemy, but to relax his guard against the flames. Koji launched Jiraiya's signature ninjutsu, Earth Style, Dark Swamp. Isshiki uses Sukuna effect to nullify the attack, but Dark Swamp is not meant to trap him, it's a trap. A giant summon jutsu appears on the floor and summons a fiery flame to surround Isshiki. Isshiki contemptuously thought it was Fire Style again, and subconsciously absorbed it. However, this is not Fire Style, this is the true fire of nature that never goes out in the flaming mountain. Isshiki tried to shrink these flames, but after rounds of fighting, his body could not withstand the force and cracked again. The shrunken flames rose again and engulfed him mercilessly. He was cut in half by Kaguya, but he didn't die, so he died for the first time in the real sense. It is for this reason that Karma's reincarnation process is automatically triggered. Amado, who was on the air, explained that the Karma is a bit like Voldemort's Horcrux and that Isshiki can be revived if the Karma is there. Jigen and Kawaki are among the people who have been carved by Isshiki as the Karma. But Kawaki's Karma is not completely unblocked, so he is forced to use Jigen's body to reincarnate. All the flames were instantly reduced and Isshiki was completely revived. With his full strength restored, he couldn't be happy because Jigen's body couldn't withstand the immense power and he only had 2 days left to live. Also, to prevent the emergence of duplicate personalities, when the successful reincarnation, other Karma will be automatically removed and the Karma on Kawaki disappears. That is, if Isshiki dies again at this time, it will not be able to resurrect. Koji turns on Sage Mode, and he wants to kill the alien once and for all. However, in Amado's plan, his mission was accomplished the moment Koji forced Isshiki out. It seems that history repeats itself, and he is destined to be like that man, using his death to bring Naruto and the others a turnaround. But the slight difference is that Koji can also make sounds. As a villain, Isshiki must of course ask what his last word. Koji's mouth moved, and he leaned over to listen. Koji summoned a giant toad, which swallowed him and teleported away. Isshiki, who was surprised, didn't even need to make a seal in ninjutsu nowadays. Isshiki has no time to care about Koji. He uses space-time ninjutsu to send over Konohagakure. He must find Kawaki to recarve Karma, otherwise, his life will run out. By this time, Konohagakure was ready to hide Kawaki in the underground headquarters of the former Foundation. Since Kawaki no longer has the Karma on his body, Isshiki can't sense it, so he gets angry and tries to use Almighty Push. But Sasuke soon caught up and threw out Shuriken and Grass-Long Sword. Shuriken was unquestionably shrunk, but Isshiki was unable to shrink Grass-Long Sword, because his jutsu can only shrink the life form, and this sword is Boruto's change. Reasonably speaking, this trick Sasuke can go to apply for a patent. Boruto gets close and uses the Karma to perform Momoshiki's space-time ninjutsu to pull Isshiki into the other dimension. Naruto and Sasuke follow closely behind, and this is the stage for the final battle. This front to Jigen's body Isshiki is unbeatable, not to mention the resurrected Isshiki. No matter ninjutsu, physical, or natural attacks, they are meaningless in front of Isshiki. The intellectual struggle and cooperation are just a struggle for survival. Soon, Naruto was pinned down by Daikokuten's destruction cube, and Sasuke was stuck on the ground with a black rod. Only Boruto, who was used as the Ten Tails feed, was trampled by Isshiki's broken arms and legs. At this desperate moment, Kurama appears in Naruto's consciousness. What a miserable look. Are you going to die? Naruto thought he was worried about the house, so he had to apologize. Kurama was silent for a moment and told Naruto that there was nothing he could do and that there was an ultimate that he had saved for the last moment. But if you use that move, you will die. Ready to understand? Naruto replied slowly and firmly. I've been ready for this since the day I became Hokage. No, from the day I set my sights on Hokage. Kurama's hands are joined, and the disruption cube is instantly catapulted into the air. A red light rises and shoots at Isshiki, who is torturing Boruto. Boruto looked up with difficulty, and what he saw was Naruto's new form. Kurama calls it the Baryon Mode of Burning Life. Guy opened the death gate back then. His power surpassed 5 cages by tens of times. So how many times can Kurama, who opened the death gate, surpass it? All Isshiki's moves were easily defeated by Naruto with one hand. He released Disruption Cube to attack Naruto, but at this point, Naruto didn't need to dodge. His clothes just lifted the Disruption Cube easily. Isshiki's full force, but even the Chakra Cape can't break free. He could only watch as Naruto punches himself in the face. Isshiki tries to counter with a black rod, but Naruto catches it with one hand and crushes it. In the face of absolute power, any of Ishiki's moves are meaningless. This may not be Naruto's last battle, but it may well be Kurama's last battle. The animation team is also fully committed, including Hiroyuki Yamashita, Chungshi Huang, Masahito Endo, and other familiar masters, as well as many famous artists to participate in the production. The action of the animation design includes a variety of martial arts and even a tribute to the scene of the duel between Naruto and Sasuke at the end of the first film. Isshiki seems to be dumbfounded, doesn't use the shrinkage, but a hard contact with Naruto. Naruto bathes in fire and makes the most basic Rasengan. Isshiki, who was blown away, saw Naruto walking slowly towards him and could not help but leave a drop of cold sweat. But at this time, Naruto suddenly fell to his knees. The chakra cape suddenly shrinks, which leads Isshiki to discover that Naruto's current state is costing him his life. Isshiki thinks he can beat Naruto again, but it turns out he's also been hit hard. Baryon Mode is not only a power-up, but due to the chakra-linked attribute, the power created by consuming life force will also reduce the opponent's lifespan when it hits them. For ordinary opponents may not have much effect, but for Isshiki, who has only 2 days left to live, it is the most terrible attack. Isshiki is now in a state where she has less than 30 minutes of life left, and Naruto's attack hasn't stopped yet. Although Baryon Mode's power is significantly weaker than just now, it's enough to suppress Isshiki. Feeling Naruto's fists falling on his body and losing his remaining life rapidly, Isshiki was completely desperate. By the time he counted Naruto, it was already too late, with only 5 minutes left to live, and it was impossible to find Kawaki. But just as he was waiting to die, he suddenly sensed Kawaki. He opens a portal and pulls Kawaki out. It turns out that Kawaki's right robot arm is driven by Naruto's chakra. Isshiki sensed Kawaki through Naruto's chakra. Isshiki regained the calmness of the past. Naruto has run out of power. Sasuke lying on the ground for 2 episodes. Even if Karma's unsealing takes time, no one will be able to stop the environmentalist Isshiki from planting trees when he comes back to life with Kawaki's body. But he underestimated Kawaki's awareness. Isshiki Otsutsuki Arc to this point will soon come to an end, the rest of the battle and so on in the future in Kawaki's character introduced to talk again. After all, Kawaki's characterization is also worth studying. This episode ends here. If you like this video, welcome to comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next episode.